When they're banned, lives are saved. When the federal assault weapons ban was in place, mass shootings went down. After it expired, they increased. We cannot afford more delay. Here in Minneapolis, this tragedy comes after 3 other deadly shootings in just 24 hours. Our city is in pain. Our state is in pain. And yet still, lawmakers at the state and federal levels refuse to do the one thing that could stop this: ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. Sending kids to school should not mean sending them into a war zone. Enough is enough. Our children deserve better. Our teachers deserve better. Our communities deserve better. So today, on behalf of the families reeling from this shooting, and on behalf of every parent who lies awake at night wondering if their child is safe, we are demanding action. Minnesota must lead and Congress must follow. Ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. Get these weapons of war off our streets and out of our communities. Our kids cannot wait any longer.
There you go.
Now it is my privilege to introduce my Congresswoman, Representative Ilhan Omar.
Thank you, Leah. As Leah said, it shouldn't be hard to ban assault weapons and high-capacity ammunition. What is hard is being a mother, having just dropped off your babies, just returning home to clean up the mess that was left after breakfast, getting rid of that cereal bowl, maybe the little bit of scrambled eggs that was left over, the half-drinking juice box. That should be hard. And receiving that phone call before you are even able to get rid of the residue that your babies left as you dropped them off at school, and to hear that your 2 angels are no more. That someone evil enough was afforded the ability to get a weapon that could be used to assassinate them through a window at their school while they sat for morning mass. I do not know what society finds themselves in the place that we continuously find themselves since Columbine, that comes together in these moments of grief, that rightfully prays for the grieving families and victims, but does not come together to do whatever they can to make sure this does not happen again. Leah and the mayor mentioned the fact that these are weapons that are used in war. I know a little bit about that. At the age of 8, I survived war myself. I'd never imagined that I'd come to the United States and be in high school, and that there would be a school shooting, and that I myself and my kids to come would practice school drills on how to avoid being gunned down in one of the greatest nations in the world. There is something fundamentally broken. I know that in America we value life. I know that in America we are loving neighbors. I know that in America we are people of faith because these babies that were gunned down were actually kneeling in prayer. But what I do not know is why, uniquely in America, we have the capacity to not change what we know we can. So that is what we must ask ourselves. This is not a big issue for us to solve, like curing cancer or AIDS, even though we attempt to do that every single day. This is something that is simple, a simple ban to make sure people who should not have access to these weapons do not get them, and then cause harm and trauma for generations to come in our communities. It is a simple ask. You don't have to be a Republican, you don't have to be a Democrat, you don't have to be political at all. You don't even have to be a parent, you don't have to love going to the movies or watching concerts. All you have to be is a human being who loves the ability to live in the liberty of knowing that no one has the capacity to take your life in seconds with weapons that they shouldn't have access to. And I'm going to call on someone who understands the kind of damage that these kind of weapons could cause to a body, that also understands the trauma that children and families have to live with. This is Dr. Mark Golder, who used to be the former CEO of Children's Hospital and specializes in trauma. Because in this moment, if America has not woken up yet, they need to hear the real realities of what these damages look like in order for our hearts to continue to be softened and for our minds to start thinking about the solutions that we know are accessible to us.
Thank you, Representative Omar. My name is Dr. Mark Gorlick. I'm a pediatric emergency medicine physician, and I want to start by acknowledging the grief of all the children and families at Assumption Church. Every single one of them was assaulted and traumatized yesterday, everyone in that community. And I also want to acknowledge the folks in the EMS system and at Hennepin Health and at Children's Minnesota who took care of those patients. Because I know from my 25 years of practicing pediatric emergency